list. We're kind of just waiting for a Citadel to get started. And I'm still working on some UI placement. Tray 4, 5, 6, 7. Five. Base transporter. 5. Mission transporter. 4. Team transporter. Assembled a team. Apparently I have not been to a pay-to-win vendor for a bunch of items. Well, this should be all we need for this. And, yeah, not a whole lot on Incarnate. What are we looking at on Salvage? Not really a whole lot. Alright, I guess while we're kind of waiting for recruiting to continue, going to, I don't know, I guess step over and think about the costume a little bit more. What was that? It's not that there's anything I really dislike about the costume, it's just it... where is it? I guess it's just almost too chaotic, even though she's supposed to be chaotic. We got a 5th. We're launching. Let's check the microphones up. Let's start the show. That is some funky light. What's my neck graph look like? Oof. That's a lot of pingage. Okay, I'm going to feed some game sound in. Graphics and audio. And incidentally, if you're wondering about those PMs that are coming across, that is one of my patrons. Where are you? Whenever life does wild. Whoa, that was some good lag. Lag! Has some good rubber banding. How many of you even knew that was under there? And once again, just to show that it's not a fluke, you can get underneath here. All the way. So if you're missing an enemy, look down here. Alright, now I need to get back up top. I can hear them fighting up here. DK429, why aren't you not at your post? DK429, please respond. Up top. Whoa, good rubber band. Get off your soapbox. And just in case you're curious, yeah, this is why I normally play with the sound off, because there are a number of powers that have a constant, always on hum that never stops. We're gonna turn this. you say? Whoa. Man, this has just been seriously a lag fest through the whole GF. What I don't get is this is not normal. Okay, we're gonna turn this down in my ears. Rubber banding getting a little old. technically, that's not entirely accurate. I'm just so overpowered that it doesn't matter what I bring into what task force, I pretty much am the backup. Yeah, a few years back, I complained once that one of my signature characters hadn't been featured in a fan video, and the video author shot back something to the effect of, they couldn't figure out how to represent a tactical nuke going off. Accurate. I probably should qualify that. Uh, when this was happening, I was maining a katana fire brute and gone on an ITF, and the entire rest of the team went on the left path. I went on the right path. I beat them to Rami and had Rami at half health by the time the rest of the team actually caught up. Yeah, there's kind of I think a redefined overpowered. It's some good rubber banding. It's actually no object. I know I've heard the song that that's sampled from. Just can't find it in my collection. I bet it's gonna be this way. A's up. That's it. Aggro the world. Oh, there's a vandal right there. level. 42 minutes. 42 minutes of rubber banding and reloading. Not a pleasant experience. Let's kill the music. Okay, I guess a little bit of a uh, follow up, if you will. Uh, Kind of a Carnage status update. After bloodying my hands, literally working on the Silverstone SG-10, I kind of have decided that I am going to just junk the case and replace it. A lot of different, uh, a lot of different reasonings behind that. And okay, a big thing that I've done over the years is helping people thermally maximize their existing chassis that they already have, that they already own. Because not everyone has the money to go out and spend on a new chassis. And quite frankly, I'm going to have to put one on a credit card. Okay, dealing with that real quick. Okay, and it kind of all came to a head after just lots of little different comments going up is when I finally, got the Intermax up and working, and yay, it booted, it turned on. And then I found that the motherboard is old enough that it has a brain dead way of handling processor temperature. Basically, the motherboard's default setting is that any temperature over 25 degrees Celsius automatically sends the processor fan to maximum RPM. Now, if you're kind of tilting around in your head and going, wait a second, don't most computer processors have an operating temperature above 25 degrees Celsius? Yes. Most computing processors, AM, going across from the first Core i7s all the way up to today's Alder Lakes and today's Ryzens, normally operates somewhere between 40 degrees Celsius and 80 degrees Celsius. Once you get over 80 degrees Celsius, you start to run into, you might have a bit of a thermal runaway problem. Uh, and many air coolers are designed to exhaust, or super air coolers are designed to exhaust 250 watts dissipated heat. Now, that's not exactly an entirely accurate amount of the joules that they are designed to uh, get rid of. But it does give you an idea of, if you look at the wattage that a processor consumes, and you get a heatsink that is capable of removing the amount of watts that the processor consumes or over, then the net cooling system should be able to cool that processor. Okay, fair shot. The Intermax is capable of keeping the i7 running coolly and stably. It just does it very loud on account of the motherboard. And honestly, the Intermax fan, the one they ship with it by default, is not very good. As I said, I don't know if I actually stated this in my previous stream, but I have contacted Intermax and kind of given them some ideas what they can do to improve the 120 millimeter fan cooling performance, and something that I was initially going to try. Is that a cat or my shoe? That was my shoe falling on my shoe. Done. Yeah, it's a long story. Anyways, uh, and my initial plan had been, I found some Intermex uses 3.5 M3.5 screws to attach the radiator and the fan and the screws that come default. So I found some 3.5 M3.5 20 millimeter screws that are perfectly capable of attaching the Noctua slimline fans to the Intermax radiator. And my initial plan had been to do one slimline fan, basically sandwich the Intermax radiator, one slimline fan on each side. And then I had, in order to maximize space elsewhere in the chat in the Silverstone chassis, I would be putting more slimline fans. And someone pointed out, and then this is guy, I guess you could call one of the patrons, kind of pointed out that I was now sinking more money into fans alone than either the chassis or the internal components were worth. And at $26 a pop for a slimline 120 miller, 120M by 15 knocked to a fan, uh, let's see, 30 times 3 plus two 90 millimeter fans, so that's another 30 times 2 with shipping, so 30 times 5. We're at a substantial amount of $30 times 5, 150. We're at $150 just in fans alone. Never minding the rest of the components. And okay, yeah, that's actually a pretty good point. I'm now spending, yes, I can put those fans elsewhere. I can use this Intermax on another system on another processor. All of this stuff is additional, and it's, you know, given this condition of previous fans, probably a good idea to have extra fans on hand. But then I saw a video pop through my YouTube suggestions from it may have been PC Perspective. I forget who it was, and they called out Thermal Take for a chassis that had 12 fans and no chill. And it actually kind of got me wondering. I did have enough fans, and I did with the fake G-force. I did have enough components to stuff into the Silverstone that I could actually do an airflow test. Now I don't have an HVAC smoke machine, and one of the things I sold off, I never picked up another one. But I can do little ribbons. And kind of peer inside the case as the fans are turned on and see which ribbons are moving and which ribbons are not moving. And uh, the Silverstone case, there are many problems with it. Where the power supply exhauster, and I went over this in a previous stream where I showed pictures, and I'm working on setting up a better camera system. And I've got some RGB floodlights so I can more evenly light the little corner that's kind of been set aside. So, maybe do this live and demonstrate in camera where the airflow is not consistent in the Silverstone. And all of the ways that you can set it up. If you have an actual graphics processor inside, and uh, the GPU basically blocks off the three lower fans, the GP, and thus you're left with only one fan, two fans on the top end. Well, due to holes on the other side of the case and an 80 millimeter fan that may or may not be there, if you have an 80 millimeter fan in place, uh, you break the entire airflow. There's no consistent airflow in the case. And as I'm kind of just going like, because because the last processor that was in here had a massive fan take supercooler on top of it, I was never really worried about actual airflow. And the chassis was cute. I liked it. It fit. It was better than the other small form factors that I had previously, but it's just not worth it. I'm just sinking money after money into, it's $150 on fans. I can go out and get another whole entire case for $150. That's probably going to be a lot better. And okay, so that's kind of where I reached the breaking point of, yeah, you know what, you're right. I need to spend my money a little bit more wisely. Is okay, going back to my whole big thing before has been helping other people figure out how to cool their systems and uh work with what they've got. But really, when you're spending more to properly chill the system that you've got or make the system that you got work versus buying a new case, every other time in the past, I would have just looked at somebody and said, buy a new case. Just let's go case shopping. What size do you want? What features do you want? This case is not going to work for this. Uh, or this case is normally this is like with Dell or E machines or Hewlett Packards, pretty much anything that have one of those. And I mean any sub brand of Dell counts here too. So this is Dellianware as well. If it had a Dell logo, an HP logo, an E machines logo, chances are the cooling was going to be broken. Uh, and this again, so it's reached a breaking point. Yeah, I just need to swap chassis around. Well, if I'm at $150 mark for a new chassis, do I want to replace the Silverstone chassis or do I want to do kind of a swap down? Do I want to, because it's the archival server. I mean, I could put the archival server in the Be Quiet case. I could move the Intel into the Noxia case, and then I could just get a new case for a ticked off Southern Sledgehammer. Because, well, it's I like to be quiet, but it's kind of big, and well, it's kind of big. That's really the only thing I've got to say against the be quiet. It's kind of big, and I really just don't want to buy another one. Uh, yes, it's not much more than the kind of artificial price point I had set of $150, but I've already got to be quiet. I really like it. I really would recommend the Dark Base 700 to anyone. Uh, the pure base, oh no, no. Now, that being said, for VG, the giveaway computer, I had gotten a Fractal Focus G, and I've really liked working with that, putting VG back together in a different chassis. Fractal Design Focus G, pretty easy to work with. Everything pretty well laid out. Nice open cases. I haven't sliced my hands working on it. Uh, and so I was kind of looking at the Fractal Design Meshify first, and I really like the Fractal Design Meshify 2 in white. But I can't find a Fractal Design Meshify 2 in white with dark tinted glasses.